When it comes to accolades, and one of the greatest achievements a player can receive is to have their number retired by a team. And when your number is retired by a team forever, you are honored by that franchise. Your jersey is hung in the rafters, the number can no longer be worn by any player, and the fans are able to show their appreciation for everything you've done for that franchise from that day forever on. But for all-time great NBA top 75 player Carmelo Anthony may never receive this accolade from a franchise. To start this whole argument, how are players picked to have their numbers retired? It's really some sort of combination of some hard and soft accomplishments. Hard accomplishments are like titles, accolades, and stats, and the soft accomplishments are more like players' reputation with the team or the city. There really isn't a perfect balance to determine how much of each is required to have your jersey number retired. It's more on the team to determine what you've done with that franchise to be awarded your number to be retired. Outside of the hard accomplishments like mentioned before, it's usually a feeling thing. Because if you look at someone like Carmelo Anthony, your initial reaction is, yeah, that dude is obviously good enough to have his jersey number retired. And as we all know, these things that are just a judgment call can involve politics. And with all things into consideration, Carmelo Anthony should have his number retired with the Denver Nuggets. But it's becoming likely he won't because of a problem they may not be able to solve anytime soon. Carmelo Anthony is easily one of the best players of his generation. When it comes down to great Denver Nugget players, Carmelo is one that will always come up at the top of that list. The Denver Nuggets drafted Carmelo Anthony with the 3rd overall pick in the 2003 draft. Other than LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony was the most coveted prospect after winning a national championship with Syracuse. In Carmelo's first year, he averaged 21 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. He would lose the Rookie of the Year award to LeBron James, even though his numbers were better than LeBron's in some regards. And he just flat out balled out. But right away, it was very clear it was Carmelo Anthony's team. After missing the playoffs 8 straight years, Carmelo took the Denver Nuggets to the playoffs his rookie season. Over the next few years, Carmelo will continue to produce good numbers and finally make an All-Star game in 2008, and then returning back in 2008 and then 2010. He led the Denver Nuggets to the playoffs every year he was in Denver, and with the 2008-9 run being the best teams of the Carmelo Anthony era in Denver, making it to the Western Conference Finals before losing to the NBA champions Los Angeles Lakers. In the 8 seasons with the Denver Nuggets, Carmelo averaged 24.8 points per game, 6.3 rebounds a game, 3.1 assists, 1.1 steals, and a half a block per game. He is currently 3rd on the Denver Nuggets all-time points scored, 3rd all-time in minutes played, 3rd in field goals made, 7th in games played, and 8th in steals. So yeah, he's a Denver Nugget all-time great. With these accolades, it would seem like it was a foregone conclusion the Nuggets would retire his number, right? And Carmelo even spoke out about the Nuggets retiring his number.
Carmelo, you've mentioned wanting to have your jersey retired in New York. Have you ever thought about if the Nuggets were to retire?
This is where it should be retired, to be honest with you. Just my opinion. We'll see, man. We still got time for that.
But now here comes the politics and the problems. First, Carmelo's exit from the team was not the best. At the beginning of the 2010-11 season, there was speculation that Carmelo would no longer want to be with the team. The Nuggets wanted to keep Carmelo, but he refused to sign an extension in the summer and during the season. He made it clear to the Nuggets he wanted to be traded and was only willing to sign an extension with the Knicks and the Bulls. The Bulls were unwilling to part with Joakim Noah, so this forced the Nuggets' hand and they traded him to the Knicks. But normally in situations, time has passed and people move on, and a franchise would forgive how things ended and just appreciate how good things were when they were on the team. But the second problem with the Nuggets may not be fixable. In 2015, the Denver Nuggets drafted Nikola Jokic with the 41st overall pick. In the same amount of time as Carmelo Anthony, just 8 seasons, Jokic has looked like the best Nugget player of all time. He's averaging 20 points a game, 10.5 assists, and 6.6 rebounds in his career, and it's insane because he's a center. He already is number 1 in assists and triple doubles and has passed Carmelo in games played, rebounds, and steals. He's a 5-time All-Star, a back-to-back MVP winner, and may be on his way to win another one. And here's why the Jokic problem becomes very real. Because Jokic is number 15, and so was Carmelo Anthony when he was on his run in Denver. After 5 years of no one wearing number 15 for Denver since Carmelo left, people would assume, okay, maybe he would get his number retired. But once the Nuggets allowed allowed Jokic to pick the number as he's been wearing it his whole life, it kind of threw in a little bit of a wrench saying, wait, are you not going to retire Carmelo Anthony's number? And a lot of people would be like, oh, what if they have Jokic change his number, all these things? Number one, I'm sure the NBA wouldn't really love that just because like Jokic is one of the biggest stars in the world, so they would have to have a lot of change at PR marketing. Sounds like a disaster, to be honest with you. And number 15 is Jokic's favorite number growing up. He was given number 15 because he was the biggest kid on the youth team. So he was given the biggest jersey, which is number 15. So it's really special to him based on the fact that Jokic has been wearing number 15 his entire life. I would doubt that he's going to change that number. So number 15 will probably not be retired while Jokic is an active member of the team. And it's probably going to be Jokic's number 15 in the rafters, not Carmelo Anthony. But the Nuggets do have some options if they want to honor Carmelo Anthony. Other teams that have retired jersey numbers multiple times are the Boston Celtics and New York Knicks. They have retired a jersey in honor of multiple players. So in that sense, the Nuggets can have one of the best jersey number retirements of all time if both players are doing it once they're done playing. And I think a lot of people would agree Carmelo Anthony deserves it, but it kind of seems like they just don't want to retire his number, period. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think he'll ever get his number retired?